Back to today on STV at this time, we take a look at the ongoing issues with the PDP and the defection of 37 lawmakers to the APC from the PDP. That is, also we await confirmation of a further defection of some lawmakers. That's taking a look at the Senate now to the APC from the PDP as well. Welcome with Vicky and I, our guest in the studio this morning, who is still with the fold. It doesn't matter how embattled, he says. And he is Kayode Otitoju, who was former commissioner for information in Ekiti State, former aspirant to go to the Senate on the platform of the PDP in Ekiti State as well, and is a PDP chieftain. Kayode Otitoju, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have you in the studio, sir.
Thank you.
Now, you have decided to stay true to the party. With all of this, with having 37 people defect to the APC, how does that make you feel? How do you think that impacts on the PDP that used to be the hugest party in Nigeria?
You know, about 1.5 months ago, when I granted an interview here, when the talk, you know, between the 7 governors and Mr. President was still ongoing, I warned that we have to be careful and we have to, you know, make sure that these governors don't defect to PDP or to APC. That if they defect, it will really weaken us. By then, as far back as July, I've seen the handwriting on the wall. When you granted an interview in Eco Hotel, you remember, I said that as I see things, Northwest was not with us, that the governors of Northwest was not with us. By that time, all these people from Sokoto, they were still, you know, pretending as if they were with us. Okay?
Can we say they were pretending?
Well, at least it wasn't open. You know, they haven't really come open that, you know, they were not.
But
so
perhaps, okay.
What I'm saying is, eventually, 5 of them left. Okay? And when 5 governors leave, there is chain of followers. The senators that got to Senate through them, the House of Rep that got to Rep through them, the House of Assembly, the Councillor, name it.
Okay, now
so
perhaps,
this is really
if the
a
PDP,
major.
If you saw this as the PDP should have seen this, which we expect that in a matter of trying to handle crisis, of course, you would always have to look at the cost in terms of if this fails in terms of resolution, what would be the likely outcome? So would you say that the PDP had calculated this well, or did well in any way in terms of the handling of this crisis to this point?
Well, when I suggested that this must be taken seriously, you know, I expected the party to have preempted the move.
Okay, who did you suggest to?
When you talk on air, you are suggesting to the whole world, okay, to the decision makers, to the party, to presidency, name it. When one is in the studio, you know, that's even the best way a common person like me could get to, you know, get my view across. I can write a letter to Mr. President.
Okay. Now let me ask a question, sir. You have decided to stay true to the PDP. Any particular reason why?
Well, you see, I was in AD, and I was to contest senatorial under AD in 2003, but a day to primary, when it was so sure that I would get the candidacy. And once you get the candidacy, then you are as good as the senator. They use their magomago or whatever and force me not to appear for the screening. You get my point. And there, I just made up my mind that anything that has to do with AD when they transmute to be ACN or ACID or whatever, and now APC, you know, I've made up my mind.
Okay, so what makes the PDP better than what you're saying in terms of the way things are done?
This is a personal thing. I just don't want to, because, you know, by that time I was, you know, I campaigned for 3 years, from 2001 to 2003, a day to this, you just stop one abruptly.
Okay,
if you know what that means in politics.
Is there a difference in this? Because people have said APC, PDP, and they're the same thing, the same people. The reason is easy for one to just walk out of PDP, walk into ACN or now APC, walk out of the same APC, strolls into PDP.
No,
is
I still
there's really no difference.
I still consider that senatorial seat under what's the name? NCP that year. You get my point? Because I've campaigned so much. And my campaign effect now got the person AD, you know, nominated to get the seat. And that was the only seat got by AD that year. You get my point? But I had only 1.5 months to contest under NCP, under a new party. I still came third in the senatorial district.
Okay, but is there a difference between APC and PDP in terms of the principles of the practice of even the internal democracy within the party?
Okay, you are shifting the question from my personal...
Yes, so because you have said that the reason you have stuck to AD was because of what happened to you. Some other people have experiences of what has happened to them too.
Well, I know the difference I see is in the way people take the party. Okay? APC is more or less an extension of ACA. You get my point? And it means that one person takes the party very serious and works to see that through thick or thin, it gets more people to it. From one state, Lagos State, now we can now talk of almost 16 states.
Okay.
You get my point? So that's that. Whereas in our own party, the party doesn't care whether you leave or not. So we are losing members by day, while the other one is gaining. So that's the major difference I see.
Okay, now, you talked about your dissatisfaction with the, you know what, let me hold that thought. This is the news desk, and when I come back, I'll definitely finish up with that question. The news is up next.
Silverbird cinemas. Experience the difference.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still on the conversation on the crisis within the PDP and how it has become in the news now, the latest being the defection of 37 lawmakers from the party PDP to the APC. We still have our guest in the studio, Sir Kayode Otitoju, who is a PDP chieftain. With us in the studio, Vicky.
Now, before I went off, I wanted to ask this question. Apparently, changing parties when you feel dissatisfied or you're disgruntled with your party is no new thing. You've done it. 37 people recently did it. Now, apart from the effects on the PDP, I mean, how healthy is this changing of, I mean, because you have to stay with a party that is true to your dream. How healthy is it to change parties like this?
Yeah, my own was based on, you know, having, you know, hope and aspiration in the party, and people who are within the party, who are the helm of affairs, you know, letting you down at the last minute. So it's different from the 37.
Is it? Don't you think they feel let down as well?
No, it's different from the 37 because the 37 is more or less a bandwagon effect.
Okay.
They are defecting because their governors, their mentor, the people who really assisted them get there, are potted.
Because they feel dissatisfied with the party as well.
And they feel that they have been...
Well, either they are satisfied or dissatisfied. When your guy moves, you follow them.
All right, let's touch on something very critical, because political analysts have said, let's even get to find out what is really at the heart of this crisis. in the party, the PDP, one of which, very obvious, is the leadership of Alhaji Bamanga Tukur. And he has said he remains the party chairman. Even as of today, the headlines have said, Tukur insists, I won't quit. On the other hand is the 2015 agenda and who becomes president and who is allowed to recontest and who is not. Talk to us as a party man, really, what is going on within the PDP and what has been at the heart of this
you
issue?
asked two questions, one on Tukur and one on,
2015.
2015. On Tukur, it's like you don't give what you don't have. This is the first time that Tukur we pretend over elected people, not minding when he was governor of Adamawa, or is it Adamawa or something like that, but heading a body that everybody is more or less independent. The secretary is independent. You get my point. And the PDP secretariat. So when he got there, he was building a sort of empire around his own office. He was having someone who will be doing the work of secretary. He was having someone who will be doing the work of publicity secretary. It was, you get my point. So at the end of the day, the people who are really elected to hold started.
Okay, so you tie this to the leadership style of Tukur.
So really, it was my boss in Post Authority as far back as 1981, 81, 82. He was the general manager. General manager was the highest in Post Authority there. And I came in, after youth corps as a traffic officer 2. Okay? There, Jopesi was one of his personal assistants. You get my point? So he chooses his own personal assistant and work like that. But you can control those people because they are employee. You can't control Olagunsoye that is elected just as you are elected. You get my point? And now getting people who will be doing his job. Nobody will. That's the genesis.
Okay. No, sorry.
Then,
on the 2015.
2015, yes, 2015, the president has right to contest because the constitution allows 2 terms of 4 years. Okay? And if he says, yes, I have 4 years, let me at least work for 2 years.
But has the president said he would contest?
Let me work for 2 years. Let me work for 2. When we now get to 2014, either I want to contest or not, I will. But don't detract me.
But what's the position of the president now? Now you have mentioned it. Has he even said he's
until
contesting?
he says something, you are only reading body language.
Okay, but if his body language and is strong enough to make people decide on this magnitude and be sure that he's coming out, what do you think that is?
Well, what stops him from coming out?
I'm asking. I'm saying if the body language is strong enough so that people have read it and have interpreted it to
and then
mean
let them work in tandem with what they can make out of the body language.
Okay, now I want to look at damage control now. We see
which damage?
The damage that the PDP is facing right now.
From?
They are about to be number 2 party in Nigeria from number 1. And even though you guys said you'll be in power for about 60 years, it doesn't seem to be coming to pass. I mean, okay, like you have 37 members already in House of Reps moving to the APC. You also have some governors that have moved. You're going to have more rep members moving. You're going to have people in the House of Senate moving. Now, the House of Reps needs 181.
To get a majority.
Yeah, to get a majority.
They have 174 now.
The APC will be working hard to move up their membership to 181. Do you think is there anything you can do at this point to control, to mitigate against,
see, or when we will have done something, I voice it out there.
So there's no hope for the PDP right now?
I voice it out that don't allow these governors to defect. Don't. Do all you can to see that they don't defect.
Oh, well, they have so defected, and it has affected the lawmakers as well. So we are talking about what it is for the PDP. We hear about court cases to say, okay, it was illegal that they had defected, and we know what the Constitution says about that. So tell us, what is the next line of action for the PDP on this?
The next line of action on the people who defected?
Yes.
No, you don't have control over that.
But we hear about
there
court
is
cases.
constitution that,
Okay,
you know...
But we hear about court cases, the PDP planning to say, let's meet in court and address the defection.
But when it comes to court cases, can you ever win Tinubu? You see...
Why is it the person this time?
Yeah, because I say he brought ACN or APC from one state to 16 states. And most of these things were gotten through the court. Like Ekiti and Oshun, Ondo, it was court. So when, you see, in your life, I don't pray that you offend an individual. You can offend a city. Nobody will take, you so serious as to walk against. But you offend an individual, it's dangerous.
Now, this is instructive because you're still a member of the PDP and the party plans to take a court action. And here you are already saying that it's really not going to yield much. Yeah,
because, okay, for instance, thank God, they have just granted body judge, exonerated him of the... But you want to tell me that it wasn't ACN that got him to jail? It was ACN. I say when it comes to things that have to do with legal, this party, the APC, is well rooted in the...
So the PDP shouldn't stretch?
No, they will, but it will take time, and by the time this thing is finalized, maybe a year or
okay. Okay, let's quickly launch a report by our political editor, Ozo Naunoye, on the developments we have been talking about in our polity at this time, the biggest being the defection of 37 lawmakers from the PDP to the APC alongside those governors who defected earlier.
Last week's call by the APC on the National Assembly to begin impeachment proceedings against President Goodluck Jonathan came to many observers as wild imagination. But about 2 weeks after PDP lost 5 of 8 governors to the APC, and then 37 members of the House of Representatives cross-carpeting from PDP to APC, more concerns have followed the number switch in the parties. With Speaker Aminu Tambuwal alone still remaining in the PDP, 10 out of 11 members from Sokoto State are now APC members. 8 out of 13 members from Rivers State left PDP for the APC. 11 members from Kano and all 6 from Kwara State also defected to the APC. 1 member each joined the fray from Bauchi and Katsina State. This movement has given the APC a simple majority with 172 against PDP's 171. The remaining 17 is shared among 4 other political parties. To be able to change the leadership of the House, the APC will need at least 9 more members into its fold. Then, if making a change in the executive becomes an option, APC will need at least 68 members to be taken seriously. Out of 5 states with defected governors, Adamawa, which has 5 out of 8 members in the House from the PDP, remains intact.
The presidency does not feel threatened. PDP does not feel threatened. PDP is the party to beat.
Many observers will fault such confidence as a smokescreen to the reality, even as many wonder why President Goodluck Jonathan, whose perceived ambition for a second term is being threatened and sabotaged by his own men, seem unperturbed. The real test of what is going on is in whether or not the PDP will be able to put its house in order to match and subdue the growing tentacles of the APC ahead of the 2015 presidential election. We will wait and see.
We're still on the issue of the crisis currently rocking or wrecking the PDP in Nigeria right now. We heard that report. We saw the figures that were rolled out by Uzonna. Let's talk about the fact that the seats, let's talk about whether to declare the seats vacant or not in the House of Reps. Now, would it be to the advantage of the PDP to declare the seats vacant?
Well, the Constitution allows that, okay? The Constitution allows that. But these people, just as I said, they are more or less preempted that by going to court and getting, ruling that the party should not declare this thing. INEC should not, and you get my point. When it comes to legal thing, they are smarter than us. And that's just the truth.
What is the PDP going to do to up their game right now? Because you guys have been pushed
I
against
don't
the
know,
wall.
right from the Ekiti or
me-
shown this thing, I keep on saying this. By that time, we say, okay, let things go the normal way. Whereas these people were using crooked means to get us out.
So you're saying that the PDP is an honest party. Since 1999, the PDP has held power in Nigeria, and it is the year 2013, a year a lot of people will see as epic because things are beginning to change for the PDP. The former biggest party, is the plan to sit down and fold your arms? Now, Chichi asked about the Mangatuka, who has been a bone of contention for the other members why they left. Is he still going to be the chairman of the party, considering what is going on, PDP is slowly, or should I say, not even slowly, losing grip.
All right, Vicky, just so that we don't say those are your words, let's look at the front page of today's Nation newspaper with this being credited, as reported on the front page of this paper, The Nation, to a PDP governor, and who will know who a governor is, who has come through the ranks to become a bona fide member of a party to become governor, to win the ticket. Let's look at the words of Sule Lamido, who is the governor of Jigawa State, and he says, the PDP, our party, he says, has collapsed. Quick quote, he says, it is agonizing to see that the party built in every home, in every village, town and city is being destroyed. Your words on what Vicky has asked, and also tie that to what this governor has had to say about the PDP as it stands.
Well, is Lamido still in PDP? That's my question. Answer.
Whether he has the question of being in the PDP or not,
I'm saying
he has said that the PDP has finally collapsed.
You see,
do you think that it has collapsed?
It may be in body, it may be in PDP, but in soul, it's no more in PDP.
Okay. But has the PDP collapsed, yes or no? I'm sorry.
Listen to me.
One straight answer.
If you look at people who have defected, the House of Rep, okay, from Jigawa, there are about 8 or more. They have defected already. These are people who got to power through him. So when you see him, it's just holding, it's just there. It's not part of PDP. It's not part of
One last
PDP.
question now.
So if he's saying that we have collapsed, yes.
If one of the founding fathers,
it's not part of the party.
If somebody who has the clout of the former VP, Atiku Abubakar, moves to the APC, what effect do you think that would have on the PDP?
I hope people will take note of this again. If Abubakar should move to APC, just know that actually he may likely be the next president.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because last time we tried, okay, but at primary level, I was like the chief strategist to get him out. But people like me can't
get him out
to make sure that he didn't get
really?
Yeah. No, first of all, we have to have his strategy committee, coordinated by the Minister of Petroleum, okay, and we have to go about the primaries and also so. But this time around, none of us, out of the 36 people that formed that strategy, none of us is given any appointment.
Oh, really? Now you are telling us.
None of us is given any appointment.
More
so nobody wants to strategize for nothing. And people who didn't do anything, who are technocrats, who have been in the banking sector and whatever, are the people they call to come and take appointment.
Okay.
So all those things, apart from what you see physically, like these people defecting from one to, there are so many people that are disgruntled by the way, dividend of democracy are being shared.
Okay, all right, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've had an interesting chat with Kayode Otitoju, who is a PDP chieftain who has decided to stick to the party, come sun, come rain, no matter what, a true PDP lover.
Okay, that brings us to our next interview. Earlier, we sat down and conducted an interview with an elder statesman. He was former Minister of National Planning, Rashid Gbadamosi, talking about the state of affairs in Nigeria.